Welcome, YouTubers, to our spooky Halloween show. Today, today we will be painting pumpkins and talking about scary movies.
We're gonna talk about our favorite and our least favorite movies
while eating some sweets.
It's pumpkin dip with Oreos.
Alright,
Let's get started.
let's just jump into it. We got our pumpkins here, we got our paints. Kelsey, why don't you tell them what you're gonna do?
I'm planning on making like a skull because the pumpkin's kind of shaped like thick slim, like a skull, and do like a Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Day Muertos.
Dias Muertos.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Anyway, what will you be doing?
I noticed there's a lot of chips and cracks in my pumpkin, so I'm just gonna fix it. I'm just gonna paint over it. I'm just gonna redo it.
You're gonna paint over it with orange?
I got some orange. I got some brown. I'm gonna fix this pumpkin.
Anyway, let's get to it.
You already picked your brush? Okay. I'm a little behind. Let's get started with the painting, and I'll turn the time over to Sister Smith to discuss her top 3 favorite horror films of all time.
My all-time favorite horror film is Insidious. I know it's not like a super popular movie. I'm not a fan of the rest of them, like Insidious 2 and 3 and The Last Key and all of that. I really just like the first one. And I'll tell you why, Kasey.
Okay.
You know that I really love like ghost-like movies. I love spirits, I love devils, demons, I love like exorcisms and stuff. Like I think that's so interesting because that's like what we have most like record of, right? Like you have so many people getting exorcised and so many ghost sightings and stuff like that. So just it's that much more scary to me. And in Insidious, they have this thing called the Further, and it just sounds so believable to me, like it could actually be a thing where the ghosts and the demons cross over like in your dreams, or like when you're in the further, so kind of past your dreams. And I just love the idea. And there's a special part in Insidious where the grandma is talking about how she had a dream, and it was in their house, and she walked over to the main actor kid's room, and she saw the thing. She's like, "Who are you?" And he said, "A visitor." And she's like, "What do you want?" And then he creepily points with like a crackly noise to the kid on the bed. And then after that it goes to a shot of the red face behind the guy. Killed me. I watched it in the theater and I almost ran out of there. I was so scared. I think it's incredible. I think it's an overall incredible movie. The story, the visuals, like everything is really, really good. The sounds, the sound effects, the music, A+ for me.
You heard it here first, folks. A+.
Do you want to go with one of yours?
Just go through your top 3.
No.
Okay, and we'll decide in post. Hey, Kelsey.
Yes?
I noticed in your review of The Insidious, you referred to the boogeyman, guy, thing, demon, as the Thing.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting little foreshadow, because my number 1 horror film is Halloween. I'm just kidding. It's The Thing. Created by Spookmaster John Carpenter. Funny enough, also created Halloween, not the holiday. No, the holiday too. He invented the holiday. The Thing is about a team of scientists in Antarctica, a very isolated, cold, uninteresting, miserable place. The perfect backdrop to a scary story. What I love about The Thing is, you know, it's about a shape-shifting alien, but not like a shapeshifter like a good old Pennywise the Clown. No, this guy is like a blob of gutties and gooeys and gummies, but when he turns into it, you won't even know it's him. We see a dog just running through the Antarctic tundra, and it's a dog being chased by a helicopter, and you're thinking, why is a dog being chased by a helicopter? I want to fast forward a little bit. The dog's an alien, and throughout this movie, it's great. And we're not given, like, we're given Kurt Russell, sure, but he's not Eye Patch Jack, you know, he's not Overboard, he's not, what's that boat movie? Not Overboard, Captain
Ron?
He's not Captain Ron, no, he's a drunken everyman, and he's put in a situation where he has to fight for his life because the odds are against these people. Any one of them could be this creepy, disgusting alien guy, you know. And there's not a point in that movie where you're just like, I can, you know, relax a little bit. It's just like a real heebie-jeebie movie, you know. You never really know what's up, know what's down, but and I think that's why I love it so much, is it's a very, very unique horror film, you know, that really escalates the genre instead of rehashing the same thing again and again. It's a new formula. It's playing off this very, very intuitive, basic fear, and as the fear of the unknown, the fear of mystery, not knowing who is who, and stranger danger, you know, just paranoia. In conclusion, The Thing is the greatest horror movie ever made.
Debatable.
Looks like a fresh new pumpkin. Anyway, moving on. Say, Kelsey, what would you say is your number 2 favorite horror film of all time? You see, we're doing this organically. This is off the top of the head. Very conversational.
You know, this is another one that is probably an unpopular opinion. It's a movie that probably isn't the greatest movie out there, but is one that really stuck with me. It's The Ring. I don't really know exactly why. I mean, I told you I like ghostly stuff, and Samara is a ghost. I think the idea of it is so creepy, you know? Her mother kills her, throws her down a well, and then she tries to get out. Died in 7 days or whatever. That was really scary for a while. Like,
It was.
People were like really into that.
It was a bit of a spooky meme.
Special effects in it were really good. I think the story was really believable. I think the video that you watch before you die is extremely creepy and super...
Very effective.
Yeah. My favorite part, of course, is the song that she sings.
Aww. Baby.
That's cute to you? That is so fucking creepy. I don't know. These songs just stick with me. Like, I feel like there's a song to go with every scary movie that I like. Thank you to the creators of Insidious and The Ring. What's your second favorite horror film? Kasey?
Ever asked me a question I'm about to cook it out with a cookie?
Cook it out.
Hi, hun. I'm glad you asked because it was very, very difficult choosing my favorite horror films. I'm gonna change my mind about it as soon as we're done filming this little video. But I'd say my second favorite one is The Shining. A very divisive movie, The Shining. This movie was written and directed by Stanley Kubrick, a filmmaker whom I find very divisive, even in my own brain. Everything is just picturesque and looks like a painting, but it doesn't always make sense. Ultimately, the thing that I love most about the movie is definitely the visuals. There aren't a lot, there's no jump scares, there's no, it's not really scary, it's uncomfortable. I think at its worst, it's gross and it's really, really creepy, but it's not like, it's not the scariest movie. It's definitely not even close to the scariest movie I've ever seen. Probably, I would say out of all the horror films, it's my favorite in terms of atmosphere. It's a good movie. The Shining is a good movie. So babe, how's your pumpkin going?
I'm just waiting for it to dry. Oh, my third favorite.
Oh, I forgot to ask.
Film.
What's your third favorite horror film?
My third favorite horror film of all time. And I never thought that I would say this, The Boy. Now, if you haven't seen The Boy, it's about an older couple. Well, you know, they lost their son when they were younger, but then they got this doll to kind of replace their son that looks just like him. They treat him just like a son. They go out of town and they have this babysitter take care of their little boy. The boy seems to have come alive. He like delivers food to her. You can hear his little pitter patter of his feet, and you can hear him talking and stuff like that. Spoiler alert, turns out to be a guy in the walls of the house pretending to be this doll. And there's this part in the end, and he's inside the wall and he's chasing her, and he's like, yes. Creepiest movie ever. Your third?
All I'm saying is, The Shining played with atmosphere. It's just a little movie. So bad.
I asked you what your third favorite was.
I'm glad you asked. The Boy. My third favorite horror film is The Texas Chainsaw Happening.
Oil storage units continue to burn out of control.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is number 3 on this list, almost by default, because I had a hard time choosing these movies, and I'm having a real tough time talking in front of a camera today, as you might have noticed. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a very visceral experience for me. I remember being a little boy. I was way too young to watch this movie. You know, there's no denying that it's an influential sort of slasher movie. It's just a movie. It's just a horror film. It certainly wasn't the most provocative or controversial movie of its time. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. It's a scary movie, disturbing movie that affected me a lot. When I think about scary movies, for some reason that's the first one that always comes to my mind because it had the most impact. You know, that and Ernest Scared Stupid. I wouldn't lie.
What's that one on the Disney Channel that, oh, like, under the bed?
Oh my god! He had the gooey arm. Like the, you know, like when the cereal gets soggy, you get the frosted flake and the frosted flakes in the sink, and that's his arm, dude. It was like gooey. Just...
I guess it's time for our least favorite?
Oh, honey, this is certainly my least favorite time in the episode.
Now, let's start this out by saying we appreciate the work that was put in to make these films. I commend you, that's really impressive. But these are just ones that we didn't really take to that well.
Yeah, they're...
And, you know, for some, that's really putting it mildly, because some of them I thought were absolutely ridiculous. And again, no disrespect to the people that made the movies. These are just our opinions. My number 1 worst favorite, aka, in my opinion, the worst horror film ever made, Drag Me to Hell. Now, you said that it was horror/comedy. I went in thinking, because of the previews, that this was like a horror film, horror only film. And so when all the kinks and quirks popped in and all the cheesiness was there, I couldn't deal. I was like expecting so scary, and some of them, like some of the parts were really scary and like jumpy and stuff, but when the cheesy stuff came in, I'm like, come on, you guys. You really took the time to put this movie together for it to just be a joke. And Kasey will disagree with this, but I feel the same way about Evil Dead.
I kind of agree.
Very, very, very cheesy. And you know, intentional or not, I was expecting something different. I like horror movies, not horror comedy. I'm not into those. He is. I want to throw Krampus in there as well.
So, horror comedy.
That's also very cheesy, and I didn't dig it. Go ahead and name one of your least favorites.
So, a movie that really disappointed me, and it does fall under the horror comedy category, Cabin in the Woods.
Are you even listening to me?
And the reason I included this one, and a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you misunderstood it or whatever. No, I got it. I went into the movie knowing exactly what it was. I didn't like it. It was cheesy in all the wrong ways. And I know, you're going to be like, oh, that was the point. It's like, no, that wasn't the point. I get what they were doing. They did it wrong, okay? That's all I'm gonna say.
I know I'm gonna get a lot of, what's the word?
A lot of...
Hack, slack, hack.
She's gonna get a lot of hack slack for this one.
There's a word for that, right? You're gonna get a lot
I think it's slack.
No, we're gonna get a lot of hack.
You're gonna get a lot of smack?
I don't know what it is. Anyway, it's a new film, and a lot of people really enjoyed it, and so did I. You know, I'm gonna put that out there. And that's why it's number 3 on my not so good list, because I didn't hate it as much as the others. The beginning was really cool. I think a lot of cool things happened, like when she lost her head in the car, awesome. When he's banging his head on the desk, awesome. You know, a few other things. The mom's like crawling on the ceilings and walls and stuff. She goes like flying. I think that was super cool. But the ending really disappointed me. And I was so like ready for this film too. In previews, it looked terrifying and it was pretty scary.
The marketing, which we will discuss after this.
No, we can discuss that now. Marketing made it sound like it was the scariest movie of all time. It would make you shit your pants.
And I have my gripes with people who are in charge of marketing movies. Take note, do not advertise a movie as the scariest thing you'll see all year when it's a family drama that happens to have ghosts in it. The Haunting of Hill House, great show, you should check it out, but not because it's scary. It is scary, but watch it because it's good, not because I'm sorry, what did they say? You'll
pass out. You'll pass out.
You'll pass out. People are passing out, they're puking because it's so scary. That's the one that got me. They said they're puking because it's so scary. I've never heard of that. Is that documented in any medical journal? Puking because you're scared? Here's the thing, here's the problem with that. I get that you're trying to get viewers, but the reviews are gonna be shit. The moment people see a movie that they're expecting to puke during from being scared so much, they're gonna be disappointed, you idiots. Yeah.
Like say like, oh, it's kind of scary. It's just a really good film, go check it out. And then when they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, they didn't tell me that it was gonna be that scary. I'm gonna tell my friends about it. Like, come on.
Yeah, here's what you do. Subvert expectations. You undersell it. In the case of The Haunting Hill House, there are several scenes that are actually pretty genuinely terrifying.
Yes.
That happens and then suddenly you're like, oh shit, this is real shit. This is a really genuinely scary thing that I was not expecting.
And you know how many people we told about that? First thing he did is go throw it on Facebook to tell people about it and tell people to watch it. Gotta do it right, people.
Gotta do it right. Here's what I said. I says to him, I says, you know what? It's a great family drama, great story. In the case of the Hereditary, remember when they said the heart rate challenge? So Hereditary, that's a horror film kind of by default. It's a family drama that is kind of gross, and they're saying shit like the heart rate challenge. See if you can survive watching Hereditary without having a heart attack.
There was some scary parts, like I said. The ending really just ruined it. Like, I don't know if they were trying to rush or if that was the initial plan. It didn't make sense. They could have gone a completely different direction with it and it would have been so good.
It felt like everything led up to, like, by the way, you're, what was it? The devil?
You are Payman, one of the 8 kings of hell.
You're like gonna be the host for a god. It was a god that is like some Deus Ex Machina guy that we've never mentioned until the last minute of the movie. You're like, oh, by the way, she floated into the treehouse on the off chance that he would follow her up there, where he finds a bunch of naked old people. No, he goes up there and they're just like, oh, hey son. Hey there, kiddo. Oh, hi, kiddo. Guess what? You're gonna be the host of this, not a mischief guy. Like, the devil guy. Or what? They're very unclear in what that thing was. They built this movie, this family drama on this little girl's death and this mother's relationship with the grandma who's in a cult and the son who feels incredibly guilty for killing the little girl. And then they just throw in that it was the plan all along?
Yeah,
or
it's
something?
so unfinished. Doesn't make sense at all.
Unfinished. That's a good way to put it. It was unfinished.
It could have been so good.
So number 2 on my do not watch horror film list is, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one as well, It Follows. And I think this is actually another example of how marketing can kind of ruin a movie. Because this was another one that was just like the people saying, like the reviews popping up on screen, like, it'll scare the shit out of your ass. That opening scene was incredible. It was awesome. Like the rest of the movie was mildly unsettling at some points. A horror film isn't necessarily something that's just like in your face, scary. In fact, I think the subtle horror films are probably more effective, the subtle scares. I get that, I love that. This movie was very subtle until it wasn't. Until suddenly there was a ghost throwing them around on the beach. I finished the movie, but like, the movie broke its own rules multiple times. You know, and there's that opening scene where it just kind of like shows this empty area where it's like something could be following her. The thing could be invisible or whatever. They should have been clear on that. And if that's the case, if the thing following them can be invisible, then what the fuck is the point of having anybody there at all? If you're gonna make a horror film, you need to establish rules and you need to follow those rules. It ironically followed no rules. The music was great though. The music was great.
Well, as long as the music's great. Guys, my pumpkin's not turning out so well. Yours is though. Yours looks like it did when you first started.
I fixed it. I'm gonna add a little something to it, huh? How about that?
Yeah, you should do that.
The one, everyone, all 5 of you watching this, who will watch this video, I've been wondering, where's The Exorcist? It's #1 on our honorable mention list. There's no denying that this is a spooky movie and that it has had quite an influence on horror films, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Quick honorable mention nod to Exorcist 2 for that spooky hospital scene. Ugh. Oh, Black Christmas.
There's a part in it where he kills his mother, he chops her up into pieces, uses cookie cutters to cut pieces of her skin, bakes them, and eats them. Twisted.
M. Night Shyamalan. He's had some good movies. The Sixth Sense,
Yes.
Signs, The Village. The 2006 remake of Hills Have Eyes. Angry Rapist Rednecks. I loved it. It. Not to be confused with The Thing. The It is another shape-shishifting alien entity. But this time, he's a goofy-ass clown! Now, it's time to move on to the dishonorable mentions.
Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Scream. They are so predictable. There's a guy in a mask who kills everyone. Like, what is there to look forward to? You know who the killer is. I think the most exciting thing about horror films is the unknown.
Happy Death Day.
Nothing else to say about that?
No.
If you guys are wondering, our pumpkins don't look great.
Mine does. See, mine has all the lumpy brown parts, and it doesn't anymore. I fixed the stem. The stem's all nice and uniform brown, little green tip. And this pumpkin's looking fresh, looking pretty fresh, and mine is here pretty good enough to eat.
I'm sad that mine isn't. But I'll show you what I have, and then I'll post the finished one on Instagram. How about that? Ready?
Yeah.